The Lord Chancellor must be living in a parallel universe if she's giving herself a pat on the back today. The truth is that she's completely lost control of the justice system. She sat on her hands for weeks. She took 7 days to gather her thoughts and put her views in writing to the Sentencing Council. Her incompetence took this down to the wire. Magistrates and judges were only updated by the press office of the Sentencing Council at midday today that the guidelines they were due to come into force had in effect been suspended. That raises the very real prospect that magistrates and judges sitting from 10 a.m. this morning were unaware of this chaotic last-minute change and did sentence people under guidelines that the Justice Secretary herself has conceded are two-tier. But it gets worse. In that very email to thousands of judges and magistrates sent just 90 minutes ago, the Sentencing Council state, and I quote, "We remain of the view that the guidelines are necessary and appropriate." Confusion reigns. They're being told one thing by the Lord Chancellor and another by the Sentencing Council. Who really is in charge here? Yet again, the Justice Secretary has been humiliated and undermined by activist judges seeking to undermine the will of this place, our Parliament. Her authority has been shredded. She is being treated as a two-tier, second-tier Justice Secretary. Madam Deputy Speaker, this was entirely preventable if the Justice Secretary had simply put party politics to one side and just backed our bill weeks ago to restore accountability and empower her to actually control justice policy. But the Labour Party blocked it. If the Prime Minister has been tricked into sitting at the front of the Docklands Light Railway thinking that he's in charge, as his Chief of Staff mocked him for the other day, the Lord Chancellor has chosen to sit there in the passenger seat, allowing the judiciary to take charge. She's decided to be undecided. She's resolved to be irresolute, all-powerful to be impotent. Even after this complete shambles, she won't even re-establish ministerial oversight. We're told via frantic press briefings that her bill, which we haven't even seen yet, will surgically remove this two-tier sentencing guidelines. But this doesn't tackle the root cause of the problem at all, which is a legal quango that is activist, which holds views completely divergent to the public, to Parliament, and now we're told to the government. Unless she follows the formula of our bill, MPs on this side produced will be back here, time and again, to unwind the next piece of madness coming out of the Council. Take the Sentencing Council's immigration guidelines that water down sentences for immigration offences below the 12-month threshold for automatic deportation. If published, it will mean hundreds of illegal migrants and foreign national offenders will avoid deportation every single year. It will blow a hole in border security. It even waters down the maximum life sentence of people smugglers legislated for just under a year ago. It completely disregards parliamentary sovereignty. At our last exchange, the Justice Secretary said there would be no two-tier justice on her watch. Well, there it is. And it is worse than that. On the 2nd of January, her own department, not the Sentencing Council, her own department published guidance ordering the prioritisation of bail for ethnic minorities and transgender people, continuing a practice introduced under Gordon Brown. And contrary to the misinformation peddled by her press office, it produced new guidance on pre-sentencing reports that have been enforced for months, which state probation officers should consider the culture of an offender and whether they have suffered, and I quote, intergenerational trauma from historical events. Well, this is cultural relativism, which violates the rule of law and puts the British public at risk. And this time, nobody is to blame other than her. It's her department, it's black and white, it is two-tier justice. So I have some questions. Can she give the House Can she give the House the reassurance that nobody was sentenced this morning under guidelines that she concedes are two-tier? After he has brought the Sentencing Council into total disrepute, can she honestly say at the dispatch box that she has confidence in the head of the Sentencing Council, Lord Justice Davis? Yes or no? And if she does, is she aware that yesterday he took to the airways in an astonishing departure from the expected standards of judicial conduct to advocate for abolishing short sentences, especially for hyper-prolific offenders, effectively instructing lower courts to follow suit? It's time for him to go, and if she won't sack him for this, what would it take? Does she have confidence in Joanna Robinson, another member of the Sentencing Council, who took a moral objection to border control and described the Illegal Immigration Act as appalling? And lastly, will she change the guidance which her own department is producing, which has created a two-tier probation service? Or is it, once again, on her watch, two-tier justice under two-tier care?